Of course, he broke a lot of records at Ole Miss, broke Archie Manning's records, in fact, so he's asking for forgiveness here at the restaurant today. He's, of course, been involved in a lot of capacities in the media. He'll be in our television show this evening at 6 p.m. on WHNO, which is Sports NOLA TV. That's Channel 20 at 6 o'clock this evening. Tune in to listen to him then. And he's also now hosting a Thursday night sports talk show on WGSO 990 a.m., along with Brian Allen Walsh. Please give a warm welcome to John Fourcade. John?
Well, all right, just want to make sure. Hey, it's easy to come up here now when you win the ball game. So the Saints are on a roll right now, I guess you can say. They won 2 in a row. 2 good games that they actually played offensively. Defensively, still giving up a lot of points. But defense actually, I thought, won the ball game yesterday with Malcolm Jenkins' 95-yard run down of the receiver. That helped the game yesterday, as well as the defensive goal line stand that they had in that situation. And overall, though, offensively, we know what Drew Brees is going to bring to the table. It's a proven fact he's going to throw a couple of touchdowns a game. At least the offense is definitely getting themselves rolling right now at the proper time. They go to Denver next week. And speaking of the Mannings, they're going against Peyton Manning next week. And by the way, Eli broke all my records, just to let you know. And he for you guys that know, he left me one record. I still hold the most interceptions in one season. So that was nice of him to leave me one at Ole Miss. So, with that said, they go off to Denver next week, and anytime you can go on the road in the NFL, and I know Jim was talking about going on the road in the SEC and playing games, it's pretty tough. The same thing in the NFL, Be different going on the road to play Denver with Tim Tebow quarterbacking, but you don't have that. You got Peyton Manning quarterback. So with the win yesterday, the Saints still, in my book, need to improve their offensive running game. I mean, you only hit 81 yards rushing in the NFL, and that's, if you can get about 140 to 135, 140, I think you'll do a lot better. But then again, you got Drew Brees back there throwing 377 yards and 4 touchdowns a game. That would be pretty nice if you can consistently do that week in and week out. Defensively, though, when you give up 513 yards of offense to a team that I don't think is really that good yet, I think Tampa Bay will be pretty good, but you gave up 513 yards, but you win the football game. Sometimes you got to do that. We've all sat here the last few weeks wanting to know what's wrong with the Saints defense, and we just don't know if we have the personnel right now on the defensive side of football. Still not getting any pressure, still not getting enough sacks, but overall, a win's a win. Right now, when you start out 0-4 and you win the last couple of games, I don't think anybody cares how you win in football games right now, as long as you're winning. Season's still out there in front of them. Somehow they need Atlanta to start losing if you want to win a division. I just don't know if that's going to happen. You're pretty much 4 games behind Atlanta in that winning the South. But overall, I think other teams are going to start coming back toward the New Orleans Saints. They just got to be more consistent going out and playing. Special teams just played well for them. Thomas Morstead had a 53-yard average, I believe, yesterday. That's pretty doggone good. Saints special team has played well for them. Overall, right now, we come in with Joe Vitt now coaching the team. He'll take over this week. That's another coaching change. Hopefully, it won't change much from what they've done in the past. Keep things kind of going. As long as you got number 9 back there, I think the Saints have got a good shot to ease their way into a playoff picture, but they have got to take care of business. Schedule doesn't get any easier. I think we all know that. John's playing good football. Eli's playing well. They have to go up to New York and play. Obviously, you got to play Carolina again. You have to play Atlanta twice, which we haven't even played them yet. You go off to play Denver this week. So it doesn't get any easier. Oakland at Oakland. So we'll see what happens there. So I'm going to open it up. Any questions in regards to the New Orleans Saints? Be more than happy to try to answer them.
Raise your hand.
Wow. I know I'm going to get some questions. There you go. Well, Kenny's question first was Mark Ingram. I don't know what that situation was. I don't know if that was just a draft pick to pick him. Say we drafted a Heisman Trophy guy from Alabama, for whatever it meant, because he's not being used enough. And it's sort of like LSU scenario. They have 5 running backs that are pretty doggone good and getting a piece of the action. The Saints have 4 that pretty much dress out each game, and you can't play 4 running backs in the NFL. It's a little different in college ball, but the NFL, Darren Sproles is going to get his touches. Pierre Thomas is going to get his touches. Now, you want to talk about difference of running backs. Pierre Thomas is the inside the tackle style running back, which we know he'll get the ball inside, and then we know he's going to get the ball in screen plays. Well, Sproles is your outside running back. Darren's going to get the ball on the outside, and then he's going to throw him the football as much as they can. And then, Ivory, is he still on the team? I don't even know what you're hearing about Ivory anymore. And then you got Mark Ingram. What's his usage on the team? Is he going to be the goal line guy or the short yardage? I think he's a qualified running back in the NFL. I just don't know how they can use him, because if you start using these guys 10 times a piece, now you're taking away Drew Brees' throwing attempts. And they want to make sure Drew's going to get 30-something passes a game. With that being said, that's going to cut down your running game. So I don't know what's going to go on with Mark Ingram. They got a flock of running backs here that'd be more than happy to trade one for some defensive help. And any other questions? Anne Marie?
Mine was about Ivory. What is wrong? Is the boy hurt, or what's the problem?
Well, the situation with Ivory is, how do you play him? When do you play him? Pierre's healthy. He's playing. Darren Sproles. And they got that's your decision. I understand that, Marie, and I would say probably play him. But then again, if he plays and Ingram's not going to play, I don't think you got to fault Ingram as much as everybody thinks, because he's put in a situation where he's pretty much not getting the football. It's not his fault. He goes in. If you give him the ball 3 or 4 times a game, that's not enough for running backs. And Jim can talk about running backs at LSU. If you got to give these guys the ball, they got a good running game there, and the Saints don't plan on running the football. So I don't care if you got Chris Johnson back there or Andre Peterson. If you're not going to run the football, who cares who your running back is? That's just the way the Saints are. They're a throwing football team. They're not a running football team. Until we decide that that's the situation, they're going to throw first and run second. That's basically what the Saints offense is. Hey, I'm just a guy standing there with a microphone here and every now and then. I'm not in that war room. If I had those answers, I would not be standing here right now. I'd be doing something else. But I agree totally with that. I don't know. Maybe it was a glamour pick. I don't know what Sean Payton's thinking. Maybe he was drawing up his bounty gate. I don't have no idea. I don't know what the deal is. But I believe this: when the season's over, one of them running backs will be gone by trade. I really, truly believe that. They'll trade one of these guys for a draft pick or possibly a player to be named or something like that. Anybody else? Do I think Ole Miss got a chance against the Tigers? Oh, the Tide? No, Ole Miss already played them. Ole Miss is, we won last week because we didn't play anybody. We had a bye week. Ole Miss plays Georgia next week, and then they play Vanderbilt, and then they'll play LSU, and then they'll play Mississippi State, and they play Arkansas as well. We already lost to the Tide. We kept it close to the Tide. I just hope LSU can. But other than that, just a little, that's it. No, now as far as Ole Miss and LSU, I'll let you know in a couple of weeks, and we shall see. But, talking about, offense philosophies, I got a lot to say about LSU's offense, but I'll leave it to myself. And then, but overall, I think, the Alabama-LSU game is going to be a heck of a football game. And I know I'm here to talk about the Saints, but I really, truly, it's going to be a good battle next week if LSU can just step up their offense, and we'll see what happens with that. But as far as the Saints goes, guys, we got a tough game next week. We got to go to Denver. It's not going to be easy. And Denver is a good football team. We won the game yesterday. Thank God the guy doesn't know that you got to stay inside the white lines. I don't know if they'd gone back and done well in the overtime, but receivers must know that there's a white line for a reason. You don't run out of bounds and come back in and catch a pass. So we were at the verge yesterday of possibly losing that game. But going up to Denver, they have to go to Denver, and Mile High Stadium is not the easiest stadium to play in, and and Denver's got a chance to win their division out there. So we shall see. Any other questions before I turn it back over to Kenny? Lance Moore. I think Lance Moore is, it's kind of funny because a couple of weeks ago nobody was talking about Lance Moore. Where was Lance Moore? The receiving corps for the Saints was kind of having some issues, and Marcus Colston has been solid this season, but there was no Lance Moore last few weeks. He's played well enough yesterday to say he's back in the picture, but Drew's always been comfortable with Lance, and I think Morgan stepped in here a little bit, caught a heck of a pass yesterday for that touchdown. The Saints don't have big name receiving corps. We all know that. It's Marcus Colston, Lance Moore. more, and Jimmy Graham's not in the ball game. Hopefully he'll be back next week from an ankle injury. But overall, the Saints receiving core has to step up for Drew. And I think right now, Lance Moore stepped up, Marcus Colston stepped up. Jimmy Graham should be back 100% to be able to play against Denver. The offense is getting themselves together. They just got to find a little bit of a running game. And if they get a good running game, I think the Saints offense will be fine. Just worry a little bit about the defense. But overall, we shall see. They won 2 in a row, and if they can take care of business in Denver, then I think we can also then say that, we got a shot to back ourselves into the playoffs, because right now we need Atlanta to start losing some ball games. One last, okay. Yes, ma'am.
I became ma'am. Okay, go ahead. I'm all right. In Denver, when you were playing quarterback for the Saints, did you ever play in Denver?
Yes, we played in Denver. It's Mile High Stadium is for a reason. It's mile high up there. It's tough on the altitude. It's tough on your oxygen. It's tough to breathe in there if you're not used to it. Granted, we're living in humidity down here in Louisiana. It's totally different going up there. And if you've been skiing in Denver, it takes an effect.
I've been in Denver. I know what you're saying. But what I'm talking about is throwing the football. I know that it affects the kickers.
Throwing the ball, it's sort of like when people say the wind's behind you, you can overthrow guys.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, 'cause the ball travels a lot much. It travels more, I guess, in the altitude up there. You're throwing certain routes, and the ball will travel a lot further in that stadium than most of the other stadiums because of the altitude up there. And I didn't have to throw the ball far back then because we didn't throw deep passes with that offense I was in when the Saints were playing. But we'll see. I think Drew shouldn't have any trouble throwing a football when he goes to Denver.
Okay.
All righty. Well, thanks again for having me, guys. Appreciate it.